Kyrie chiming in, hashtag NBA. Hey, Chase, Anthony Davis looked really rusty last night. Any concerns that him and LeBron won't have enough time to get in rhythm for the playoffs? Kyrie, that's a great question because for me, I do have some concerns about the Lakers' health with the NBA playoffs kicking off on May 22nd. We look at a team like the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant have played a total of 7 games together. So I'm really worried about a team like that as we inch closer to the NBA playoffs. Not as worried about the Lakers because they just won a championship with their core last year, and they're led by LeBron James, who in my opinion is the best player in the NBA right now. So I'm not overly concerned, but I do think that the Lakers need to get 10 games in together as a core unit to really find some semblance of rhythm and consistency prior to the playoffs. Grade your level of concern with the Lakers right now and scale it for me from 1 to 10. Several weeks ago, it would have been at like a 4. Now, maybe I'm teetering in the 5, 6 range. I think anytime you have LeBron James, you're in a good spot. He's still the best player in the NBA. Nathan Ellis, Abel Blake. Which teams do you think might win the NBA Finals? Lakers if they're healthy. Sixers possibly. Brooklyn Nets, even though it would be one of the most fascinating stories of all time because that trio of Harden, KD, and Kyrie will enter the playoffs most likely only having played 7 games together. Could you see a team like the Boston Celtics surprise a lot of people? Possibly. The Milwaukee Bucks, are they going to find postseason success? They've been playing much better of late. Could the Denver Nuggets without Jamal Murray do it? I don't think so. Los Angeles Clippers, I like them because they've been playing a lot better. So my leaders in the clubhouse right now, I'd go Sixers, Nets, Lakers, Jazz, Suns, and Clippers. Those 6 teams are teams that I think can win the NBA Finals. Laker Rod, would you take any other player playing over LeBron if you were competing for a title this year? I would not. And I understand that LeBron James is 36 years old right now, but I want to put up my list of top 10 players in the NBA right now because LeBron James is still atop my list. He is a bionic man. He rarely, if ever, gets injured. I think that injury from Solomon Thomas was more bad luck than it was injury concerns and him getting older. I think when it comes to the playoffs, he's still the most clutch player, the most consistent, the most championship ready. And I think LeBron James is the second best player of all time behind Michael Jordan. And currently in the NBA, I would take him number 1 over any player in the NBA. Ahead of Kevin Durant, ahead of Steph Curry, ahead of Kawhi Leonard, and ahead of James Harden. So LeBron, my number 1 player in the league right now. And I think that if the Lakers are healthy, they're going to make a run at an NBA title this year. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to Chat Sports, what are you doing? Seriously. We here at Chat Sports, we grind and we hustle and we pump out nonstop content, especially focusing on the NBA. But the Chiefs just made a big trade to bring in left tackle Orlando Brown. My man Harrison Graham was live like a couple of minutes later. All of those are reasons to subscribe to Chat Sports. Go to youtube.com/chatsportstv and subscribe now. The content is endless. The content is the best. We hit you with the hard-hitting analysis, but we also like to have fun here as well. And the great part about what we do, interactive YouTube channel. So all of you, like you're doing right now, you can join the show and take part in the action as well. Last question coming in from Rogue Brothers. Who is the best coach, Phil Jackson or Gregg Popovich? Let me go Phil Jackson with the slight edge on Pop, but I don't know. I mean, both have been very influential throughout the course of NBA history because they've done so much, implemented so much, they've established cultures, and really have had to manage like superstar groups. Phil Jackson with the Lakers and the Bulls, though, all of those combined championships, he was able to step in Chicago and help Michael Jordan get over the hump and win that first NBA title and win 6 of them. And then the Lakers were in an awful spot before Phil Jackson took that job, and what do you know? He goes there and they win more rings. So give me Phil Jackson, but Rogue Brothers, yo, that's a good one. Shamar Bassett, biggest Western Conference dark horses. Anytime you have Damian Lillard, that's a team that can make a run in the Western Conference. There's no doubt about that. So I like the Portland Trailblazers. I like the Golden State Warriors as a team that can make a sneaky run. Imagine if the Warriors do well in the play-in tournament, they get that number 8 seed, and then play the Utah Jazz, and Donovan Mitchell isn't 100%. Could you see Steph Curry putting the team on his back and carrying the Warriors in the playoffs? The Warriors are a team that I'd certainly look out for as a dark horse, as well as the Portland Trailblazers. Franco Leonardis chiming in. Lonzo to OKC rumors are heating up. Do you like the fit, and could it be a sign and trade? It could be a sign and trade because Lonzo Ball entering the offseason is going to be a restricted free agent. So basically how that works is the Pelicans can offer Lonzo Ball a contract, but so too can another team. And if another team offers Lonzo Ball a larger contract than the Pelicans can either match or Lonzo Ball can leave. As far as him going to OKC, I don't love the fit. I like what OKC is doing right now. It's a silent and clear tank to me, and they have some good young players on the roster. They're certainly building for the future. I'd love to see Lonzo go to a point guard needy team like the New York Knicks. That would be my destination for Lonzo Ball. Dom Towney, does Atlanta get DeRozan or Oladipo in free agency? If I go one way, I'd go DeMar DeRozan. I still think at this point of his career, he has some gas left in the tank. He's a really good pick and roll player. He's a good pull-up jumper. Never been a big three-point guy, but I do like DeMar DeRozan as a veteran fit for a really young Atlanta Hawks team. Oladipo, not really sure about that. I'd rather go DeMar DeRozan. Next question coming in from P2 Win. Do you think Trent Jr. is a true star level in him? I think I know what you're trying to ask there. Do you think Gary Trent Jr. has star potential? Star potential? I'm not sure about star potential, but this is what I like when I see Gary Trent. He can knock down shots from the outside at a consistent rate. He can get to the basket. He can kind of score from all three levels. He can defend. He's very competitive. We know that he has a great pedigree because his pops played in the league as well. And he's only 22 years old. So Norman Powell, he's going to be a restricted free agent this year. He's probably going to demand a lot of money. Gary Trent Jr., I think he's the better player. I think he's the better value. Star potential, I'm not sure about star potential yet, but as a third or fourth option on a contending team, I really like him. Appreciate that question.